The first spaceships ever described in books and early silent movies were either shaped like rockets or like bullets that were shot into space by a massive space cannon. However, after the Roswell crash of 1947 and the subsequent UFO mass reports, authors and artists began to reimagine starships in different ways, and many of them evolved into looking like flying saucers. And from then up till now, the trope has never died. These types of spaceships are one of the most common types seen in sci-fi. And so here in this video we are going to showcase the biggest disc-shaped or flying saucer-shaped spaceships ever seen in science fiction. Let's get to it. At 15 we have the Martian Saucers from Mars Attacks. These were basically the run-of-the-mill flying saucer types, which is smooth and metallic in texture. It also features a rotating midsection and a domed section on the top which doesn't move. How it flies through space is unknown, since the lore behind this funny movie is all but non-existent. Anyway, it is still one of the most iconic flying saucers out there because of the popularity of the film Mars Attacks. Oh yeah, it also looks to be around 40 to 50 meters wide, and it is capable of transporting several Martians and can shoot a disintegrator weapon. Number 14, the Haunebu series of flying saucers from Iron Sky. So these Nazi flying saucers from the Iron Sky universe includes the Haunebu 3, 4 and the Wotan. These were the Fourth Reich's air and spacecrafts, which resembles crudely shaped flying saucers. Developed near the end of the Second World War, the Haunebu 3 was one of the largest and most advanced saucers constructed on Earth, measuring around 70 meters in diameter and is capable of carrying 32 personnel. Decades later, its successor, the Haunebu 4, expanded the design into a purpose-built military transport approximately 80 meters in length or width, and then came the Wotan, which is also 80 meters but was more heavily armored. Together these craft formed the logistical backbone of the Fourth Reich in the Moon. 13. The Dalek Saucer from Doctor Who. These were the primary spacecraft of the Dalek Empire, serving as a heavily armed battleship, troop carrier and time-traveling vessel throughout their long history, and especially during the Great Time War, the last Great Time War. Its origins trace back to the Daleks' study of an alien Kratorian spacecraft that landed on Skaro, whose technology provided the Daleks their own space program. By the era of the Time War, the bronze-hulled Dalek war machine had evolved into a formidable capital ship, a saucer capable of navigating both normal space and the time vortex, allowing it to travel through time as well as across the galaxy and across vast intergalactic space. A typical saucer carried over 2,000 Daleks, according to the Ninth Doctor, and was equipped with energy weapons that can bombard planets and annihilate enemy fleets with ease. Number 12. The Lucari NCAM scout ship from Star Trek. So this is seen in Star Trek Online and not in the canon universe, and according to the lore, this was an experimental precursor to the more advanced Hoken-class vessels of the Lucari. Measuring approximately 238 meters in diameter, the NCAM combines the sophisticated scientific capabilities of a science vessel with the speed and agility of a raider. In Star Trek Online, the NCAM class is a Tier 5 or a Level 40 starship available to captains of any faction, primarily obtainable as an ultra-rare reward from the Infinity Lockbox. Number 11. The Flying Disc from Indiana Jones, The Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So this interdimensional UFO featured in the movie was an immense disc-shaped spacecraft used by the mysterious beings from the space between spaces to travel between dimensions rather than through conventional space. Measuring an estimated 300 to 400 meters in diameter, these flying saucers were responsible for numerous unexplained events throughout human history, inspiring legends and many of Earth's most famous UFO sightings. In the movie, after the Crystal Skull was reunited with one of the aliens' bodies, one of these dormant spacecraft hidden beneath the temple in El Dorado awakened, opening a catastrophic portal, a rift, to the being's home dimension, and leaving the entire place in tatters. Now number 10. The Corona-class Armed Frigate from Star Wars. This was one of the most unusual starships in the Star Wars universe. It was built by the Hochschild Engineering before the Clone Wars, and it was actually based on an ancient Suronian cruiser design, and was originally intended for military use by the Separatists. Measuring 376 meters wide, it was a medium-sized starship, but however, the Separatists decided it wasn't suitable as a droid warship, so production was cancelled and the remaining vessels were sold off. By the time of the Clone Wars, the Corona-class was becoming something of a rare collector's item, and despite its age, it still had some clever features, including a rotating hull that generated its own propulsion, and was also used as a pirate ship by a group called the Weequays. Number 9. The Vree War Saucer from Babylon 5. A member of the younger races from Babylon 5 was the Vree, who also fielded a fleet of flying saucer-shaped spaceships. These Vree resembled the grey aliens from our real-world alien abduction stories. They were a member of both the League of Non-Aligned Worlds and later the Interstellar Alliance. Their ships were instantly recognizable by the classic flying saucer appearance, and the standard Vree War Saucer measured approximately 433 meters in diameter. Despite its relatively compact size, this vessel was renowned for its speed and antimatter-based weaponry. But for heavier combat duties, the Vree also fielded the much larger Zil-class cruiser, which was around 500 meters in diameter. Now coming to number 8, we have the Basestar, the original Basestar from Battlestar Galactica. So these Basestars were the primary capital ships of the Cylon Empire in the original Battlestar Galactica series, serving as the backbone for the Cylon fleet and functioning as massive mobile fortresses. The ship is instantly recognizable by its distinctive dual saucer design, with two enormous discs stacked back to back with their outer hulls facing upwards and downwards, and their size estimates varies from 1,000 to 2,000 meters. These acted as carriers, command centers and invasion platforms, transporting over 300 Cylon raiders that form the core of its offensive power. Although relatively slow and relying primarily on its immense fighter complement, the vessel was far from defenseless, mounting two long-range megapulsar cannons for ship-to-ship combat, alongside more than 100 laser turrets for anti-fighter defense. Now up a notch at number 7 we have the Anubis Mothership from Stargate. So this was a attack, but it was a further evolution which has a structural redesign, along with Atlantean technology. This here served as the personal flagship of the ascended Goa'uld called Anubis during his campaign to dominate the galaxy. The vessel represented a dramatic leap beyond the standard Götterdämmerung-class Mothership in both size and combat capabilities. The ship featured a massive disc-shaped hull, surrounded by long, menacing spikes that replaced the iconic Götterdämmerung pyramid with a large armored central dome that concealed its greatest weapon. Measuring roughly 1.5 to 2 kilometers in diameter, it was equipped with numerous heavy plasma turrets and a complement of over 50 depth gliders, and it had shields that were comparable to the Asgardian technology. Now number 6 we have the Exterminator-class Flagship from Doctor Who. So the Dalek flagship here represents the pinnacle of Dalek naval power, serving as the command vessel for major invasion fleets and housing the Dalek Emperor. Although retaining the iconic saucer-shaped design of the standard Dalek War Saucers, these immense vessels were way bigger and dwarfed the others in size and capabilities, functioning as both a mobile command center and a carrier for vast Dalek armies. One of the earliest known flagships was the Exterminator, used during the Second Dalek War and was between 3 and 5 kilometers wide. Regarded by the Daleks as the ultimate expression of their military supremacy, it was one hell of a beast. However, it was destroyed by the 10th Doctor, which enabled afterwards Earth's forces to drive the Dalek fleet away from human space. On the 5th spot we have the Götterdämmerung from Iron Sky. So this was the ultimate warship of the Fourth Reich in the Iron Sky universe. It represents the culmination of decades of technological development that began with the Haunebu flying saucer program. While the Haunebu 3, 4 and Wotan serve as the pioneering transports that established the lunar base of the Nazis in space, the Götterdämmerung took the same electrogravity principles and design and scaled them to an unprecedented level. Construction began in 1978, resulting in a colossal 5,080 meter long super dreadnought flying saucer, which is industrial looking and packed with exposed gears, pistons, worm drives and rotating machinery that is a part of the Reich's retro-futuristic engineering philosophy and essentially a post-diesel punk design. Now number 4 we have the Prawn Mothership from District 9. So this alien mothership is a massive interstellar vessel that unexpectedly appeared over Johannesburg in South Africa in an alternate 1982 timeline in the film District 9. It measures over 5 kilometers or more than 3 miles in diameter. This ship hovers ominously over the African city. The ship's design is split into two contrasting halves, an upper saucer-shaped habitation section that houses the stranded alien population, millions of them living in overcrowded, deteriorating conditions, and a lower industrial engineering section filled with exposed mechanical structures like pipes, engines, and all types of machinery. Deprived of proper command or propulsion capabilities, the ship becomes a floating refugee habitat and a derelict above the African country. Now on the third spot we have the Mothership from V. So these ships, the Motherships of the V series or the Visitors franchise, are enormous, city-sized alien vessels that are flying saucers in design. They were sent to Earth during the Visitors' coordinated arrival in both the original and a rebooted series. Each ship hovers over a major global city, which is often a capital or a strategic population center, and collectively, 29 motherships were deployed as a part of the Visitors' planetary peaceful incursion. In the original series, these motherships have a more radially symmetrical disc design, essentially a flying saucer, and they were about 8 kilometers in diameter. Now number 2, the Cloudship from Foundation. So here we have a cloud dominion interstellar realm in the universe of Foundation by Isaac Asimov that functions like a clustered civilization built around a vast space station containing multiple mini-planets or planetoids. They are also spread across the cosmos, flying ultra-massive flying saucer-shaped crafts called the Cloudships. Regarding the design of these Cloudships, they were roughly 10 kilometers wide, with the top half being this massive dark metallic saucer or a disc, and the surface is heavily textured with intricate geometric paneling and angular cutouts. Hanging beneath the dark saucer, though, is a massive curtain-like structure, which is composed of countless shimmering spikes, and they are one of the most unique ship types in the Foundation series. So before going to number 1, we have to tell you something. The first spot here isn't the biggest. There is a super-sized scale that we will include after this entry. So anyway, at the number 1 spot we have the City Destroyer from Independence Day. These are perhaps the most iconic of these saucer-shaped crafts, and they're one of the biggest. They measure an immense 25 kilometers or 15 miles wide, and they were made purely for planetary assault and invasions. Its overall form resembles a massive concave saucer with a central dome rising nearly 4 kilometers high before tapering towards a lower outer rim about 1 kilometer thick. The underside is equally complex, arranged in a symmetrical, organic bas-relief pattern resembling a giant mechanical flower, and internally, the City Destroyers here are fully self-contained invasion ecosystems, but they are still transported by even more massive ships. And this brings us to the supersized level, the Mothership from Independence Day 2. So this is the largest and most important capital vessel used by the Harvesters in Independence Day Resurgence, and it is the biggest flying saucer-shaped spaceship ever seen in sci-fi. This ultra-uber-massive ship was the flagship used by the Harvester's Queen's invasion of Earth in 2016. Despite its mass of over 5,000 kilometers across, the vessel is capable of sustained interplanetary travel and interstellar travel, and it reportedly moved through the solar system from Saturn to Earth in approximately 2 days. Its primary function, however, is not combat, but planetary harvesting. Once positioned over a target, it would deploy structures that would bore into the core of the world and suck out all that iron, all that energy, which would serve as a resource for this nomadic race. And so those are the biggest ever flying saucer spaceships in sci-fi. The top 15. Now with that we end this video. Do hit that like button for support and also click that bell button for regular updates on new video uploads. Also subscribe to be a part of Legion Notebug, and until the next time, take care, boys.